All right, Screambox. They get some exclusives once in a while. I
They
don't feel like they
do.
get a ton, but when they do, I always want to check them out.
Hmm.
I just renewed my subscription once again.
Hmm.
$15 for 6 months. Pretty
Super
damn cheap to
affordable.
say the least.
Yep.
And this one is about a babysitter who gets stalked by some nefarious individuals who are up
Yes.
to no good.
Hmm.
Except for the twist is our babysitter isn't so helpless as most babysitters are.
Sure ain't.
Because he,
Mm.
that's right, he
Yep.
is a bodybuilding wrestler who's there to lay the smackdown on them killers.
That's true.
They came into the wrong house. So yeah, that's all you need to know.
Hmm.
So this is like a throwback 80s slasher kind of film that's putting a spin on it, which I appreciate.
Hmm.
So this is a movie for me that had all the potential of being fantastic. Like this could have been super killer.
Mm.
And it ended up being like good. It ended up being a good time, fun, but did not live up to the potential that it could have been. One of
Mm.
the reasons for me, because the thing that would make this work is A, if our main guy, who we know from Resident Evil,
Yeah,
I was
I
shocked to
was
find out
shocked
that was
too.
Wesker.
I was
I
like,
I was like,
what?
what the hell? That I guess that's him, but Jesus. Um, but anyway, his performance in this is pretty one note. And I feel
Mm.
like I wish that could have been adjusted a bit. I felt like it was just kind of very neutral. Like he kind of had the same reaction, the same like um I guess reaction to everything.
Hmm.
And I don't know. For me that just kind of kept being like it got old after a while, and the movie is a little longer too, right? It's like an hour 40, and I feel
Yeah.
like a movie like this could be an hour 20.
Mm.
um and it's because it is a horror comedy, it's very self-aware,
Hmm.
and it's going for that like tongue-in-cheek, um goofy horror comedy, and I liked it.
Yeah.
And I just wish that we could have upped the gore and given the characters a little bit more to do and have
Mm.
different levels of reactions that would have fit the scenario. So there
Mm.
was just like reactions to things, even though it's a horror comedy. I know it's not supposed to be realistic, so I'm not judging it in that way. But if you watch something like Evil Dead 2, which is
Mm.
like the gold standard for this type of horror comedy, Ash is so good at all the different levels
Yes.
where
Of
he's with his
reaction.
girlfriend
Yeah.
and he's like, Mr. Sweet, I'm a man, and you're a
Hmm.
woman. And then he goes like to the, you know he goes to an 11 in this
Yes.
area, and then he's laughing with the freaking furniture,
Right.
and then he's cutting his hand off, and he knows when to be serious. He has such a range of
Yeah.
goofiness.
Yes. Yeah.
I love it. And unfortunately, our guy here, I like what he's bringing. I just wish there was more range to it.
Yeah. I had a fun time with this one. I thought it was
Hmm.
pretty entertaining
Yeah,
as well.
it
I
is.
think it definitely has that like B movie campiness,
Mm-hmm.
and I think a lot of people are really gonna enjoy that. And I did like the practical effects in this too. I for sure always want more, um, but I was I like what we got in it at least.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just there's a lot of goofiness for sure, and that's definitely like I love goofy horror movies. But for me, funny enough though, I was like okay with his performance. Like I was just like that's his character. Like he's this guy. But the the performances that I was actually annoyed with was his girlfriends.
Oh.
Not her performance. I shouldn't say the performance. It was more the writing, I guess, and maybe a
Hmm.
tiny bit of the performance. And like to be clear, like I don't think anybody's like a bad actor or anything. It was more just like I like the humor in that wasn't landing with me
Yeah.
because there's a lot of like this kind of like it's not dry humor, but it is the like self-aware,
Yeah.
like there's something insane happening and you're kind of just going to be like side like conversation, like dry,
Yeah.
like comedy stuff going on while like something crazy is happening. And I do think that can work, but it wasn't working for me particularly with this. I was kind of annoyed with it. I don't know. It just because it happened, it was like so many times of it happening, and it just wasn't landing. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's that. I mean, but like I said, like it was still a fun film, and I think overall, like it is gonna land with a lot of people. I do think a lot of people will enjoy it. Like this is
Yeah.
definitely the
It's a
kind
fun
of
movie.
like, yeah, like turn your brain off kind of,
Yeah.
and that's definitely not an insult or anything. It's just like a fun like horror comedy. Um,
There's a couple
but
scenes that
yeah,
go there from where I would like to have seen the film go. There's a
yeah,
scene with him throwing an elbow over and over again.
sure,
That was fun.
yeah,
Then there's another thing with there's some really cool practicals at times, and
yes,
then there's other times where it's not there. And I'm sure that's a budget issue,
yeah.
but I don't know. I would have liked to have seen his physical prowess utilized more.
Yeah, I actually do agree with that because I think that like there's definitely like an emphasis on his size and everything,
Yeah.
and it would have been funny to see it kind of like really dialed up, like
Yes.
because that's the like normally it's like some teen girl babysitting who
Yeah.
can't do anything, and like you get this like super giant buff man that can do everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's also some mask designs in this. I really like those. I thought those were really
The
cool.
upside down mask. Yeah.
That one was super neat. There's a variety of them, and I really liked the design on all of them. I thought that was super neat. Um, but yeah, I mean, I do agree. I think it's like it could have been a little bit shorter for me. Like but you know, it's hard to say, right? Like because I keep thinking like, oh, like some people probably are like really happy with the length, but just because like some of the comedy elements weren't working for me, I would have shortened it.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I mean,
It
that's
is
that's
fun.
the big takeaway is that it's a fun movie. It's
It
definitely
is.
something
It's a
to check out.
recommendation.
Yeah, it is a
Yeah. Yeah.
recommendation for sure.
And your mileage will vary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's something to put on
Yeah.
and have some good times with.
Yeah. If you're not into it, like 30 minutes
Oh
in,
yeah, then shut it off.
I'd
It keeps
can
the
it, but
tone pretty like
evenly.
throughout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a fun movie. I mean, I would recommend The Babysitter over this
Mm.
for sure. That kind of self-aware, change it up a little bit babysitter movie that takes it in a different direction, but it's just um, better
Mm.
in every way. And Samara Weaving's in it, so that is going to immediately make it better. But yeah, this is a good one. It's fun. It just didn't live up to its full potential for me, and that's just a shame. I guess that's what it comes down to, is that I'm just bummed that it isn't the film that I feel like it can be,
Yeah.
because I feel like it has all the potential. And letting this guy fully embrace who he is in this movie, I think would have worked better. Because there's moments where, he's being stopped, or he stops himself, or he runs away from something that I'm
Mm.
like,
Mhm.
why aren't you just pummeling this guy right now? Like, what's happening here?
Yeah.
Right? And there's this moment with his girlfriend where she's trying to like tell him no. That doesn't make any sense for like 2 seconds later. So it's just, I don't know. That kind of stuff's all over the place for me. And I would have liked to have just seen this dialed even a little more ridiculous.
Mhm.
But that's it for me. It's a recommendation.
Yeah.
It's a fun time, and I'll definitely be curious on what everyone thinks.
Me too.
All
Yeah.
right. Bye.
Bye.